Hello, everybody. I'm Dorothy, professional astrologer. Today, we're going to talk about the full moon in Aquarius. It's on July 23rd. Now, it's not unique in a lot of ways, but in some ways it is, because there's a few things with this full moon in Aquarius. The next full moon we have on August 22nd is also in Aquarius. So the one coming up is at 1 degree. The one in August is at 29 degrees. So we have these bookends. This happens, it's common. Every couple of years we'll have this. People love doing the blue moon thing when there's two full moons in a calendar month. Well, astrologically, we kind of have that going on. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull out your own chart. And if you don't have that, private message me your birth info and I will tell you where the Aquarius is. But you are definitely going to want to pay attention to where all of Aquarius is in your chart. Because besides this being a full moon, which I'll get into all of that, this full moon on the 23rd is right in that same area where we had Jupiter and Saturn conjunct in December 2020. So you can look back to that time period as well and see what you were initiating, what was begun back then, because they were at that early degree of Aquarius. It was 0 to 1 degree of Aquarius, depends on how you want to look at it. And so this full moon on July 23rd is initiating that spot as well. It's activating that area of your chart. So look that up. Whatever house it is in for you will be important for you. All right. If you need info on that too, I do private sessions and I teach, I do all of the astrology things. I've been doing this for 30 years. So, check me out if you need some more info. So what I want to do is I want to share my screen with you now. And we're going to share the chart of the full moon. And this is what it looks like in my location. The full moon is going to be 1 degree and 26 minutes of Aquarius, no matter where you live. It's just going to be in a different area around the world, right? Around the chart. So that piece we will not talk about in this recording. Full moon in Aquarius, what is it that we're going to do with that, right? So again, look for where it is. But when it comes to full moons, it's important for us to recognize that the full moon is about awareness, full and complete awareness. What are we being made aware of? Really, it should be in your face, just like when the full moon is out there at night, that once a month, and everybody's like, did you see the full moon? Did you see the full moon? We're all just looking at her because she's lit up in all her glory. Well, where we have full moons in our charts are areas of awareness and recognition and understanding. There are times the full moon represents as well relationships and interactions with others. Somebody's making us aware of something or we are doing that to them. All right. It doesn't have to be just your spouse. It's just, interactions back and forth. All right. So what you want to do with this is the Aquarius energy that this full moon represents. What is Aquarius? So Aquarius is fixed air. So that's thoughts and ideas, but new thoughts and new ideas. We want to be able to leave room, make space for that new information to come in and to show up. So important for us to be able to do that. Now, we also have things that might be stirred up in us. And again, it doesn't have to be everything, but it can be a lot of these or some of these things. Aquarius represents the social environment. Of course, social media is really grouped in there, but it's also the things that, what your focus is in society, whether you have, you're interested in feeding the hungry or supporting homeless people or, whatever those humanitarian interests for you are. I used to volunteer at a homeless shelter and I did some cooking there. Haven't done it since the pandemic, but I'll be back. So that was something that was important to me, some way that I could give and I could help serve, right? What is it for you? Now, you might not even be interested in those things. Like I said, everybody's a little bit different. It could be that you're looking to create some new content for some classes you want to teach, or you're looking to learn some new things, right? That's what this Aquarius energy is: opening your mind, bringing in new information, or sharing what you want, sharing yourself or your time for a cause. Now, Aquarius moon it's fixed air, so it's kind of dry. It's not overly squishy and emotional. It doesn't mean it isn't emotional, but it's not the typical emotional moon that we all know. This one is less emotional, but it's more analytical. So if you're feeling the need to analyze how you've been feeling about something, that's what this energy will do for you too. All right, so let me go, and I need to do a new share because I want to show you some other things. So we have that full moon. Am I still sharing that? Yeah, let me go to there. And now this, you guys, most of you know that I love to work with the lunar gestation cycle, right? And so that always starts with a new moon. And so new moon, first quarter, full moon, last quarter, back to a new moon takes 3 years. So there's a 9-month cycle in between them all. So they're connecting. And how are they connecting? So the new moon, I just want you to look at your journal. So first off, remember, go back and look at your calendar, your journal. What were you learning? What were you discovering about yourself, or what happened for you at the very end of December last year? So end of December 2020, when Jupiter and Saturn were conjunct in early degree of Aquarius. All right. That's the first thing you want to go look at. Now, that is separate from this lunar phase cycle. Astrology is cycles and patterns. We repeat ourselves, but we don't have to repeat the same issues and problems. Hopefully we're learning it on a spiral. When we come back to the same place that we were before, or something comes through again, then we have an opportunity to learn more and to grow. All right. So don't think that, oh my God, something really bad happened then, and it's going to happen again and again and again. No. If something didn't go well, then you can now learn from that lesson or see what the lesson was. Sometimes when we're thick in issues, we can't see that it's a lesson at all because we're just too in it. So the full moon on July 23rd is related to the beginning of that cycle was right here. Here's this new moon in Aquarius. That was at January 24th, 2020. Yeah, 18 months ago. So you are to look back at that point. What was going on for you in that time frame? What, if you do new moon rituals or new moon goal setting, what did you initiate? What did you begin? Look at that journal, look at that book, and see how it has manifested to now. All right, to this full moon that we have on the 23rd. I want you to look at that. Now, there's a lot of times when we can't see anything at that new moon because the moon is dark. Of course, she has no light of her own yet. So it could be something was going on and you didn't even know it, but now you do. Look at what that might be. The next phase, 9 months after January 2020, 9 months later is October 23rd, 2020. And here is that first quarter moon. The moon is at 0 Aquarius in that first quarter. This is when we're in the thick of this pandemic. We were, March, when Saturn got to 0 Aquarius in 2020, everything shut down like a dead stop. Our freedoms were, boom, taken away in a lot of ways. And then it lightened up. And then in June, July, things started to open a little bit, but not a lot. And then by the time we get to this point, boom, back to being freedoms taken away again. So that's pandemic timeline. But I want you to look at it for your own world. In your own world, what were you Again, what did you initiate in January 2020? And then 9 months later, here in October 2020 as well, this first quarter moon, you could see what you were working on. I know the rug got pulled out from under us in that time frame, but there are still some things that would have remained, still some things in your life that you were working on, or things you were working through. Give yourself that opportunity to look through it. And again, if you need some guidance with that, let me know. That is my profession. A professional astrologer for decades now. So it brings us now to the full moon on July 23rd. And that full moon on July 23rd, coming up to that, we should be able to clearly see what we've been working on, what we haven't accomplished, what is thriving, just like your garden. You use this in the sense, I've always used the lunar phases in the sense of planting a seed is the new moon. When we get to that first quarter is when things have been sprouting, but not everything is growing, but we can see what's doing well, and we put our attention on that. That's that first quarter. And now here on the 23rd, when we're at the full moon, it is abundantly clear what is absolutely thriving and what isn't. So it's an opportunity to make any adjustments you need and to focus on the thing that is abundantly clear, that is working, and to release and let go of whatever that is that isn't working. You can't just keep repeating the same old patterns and expecting something different to happen. That doesn't work, especially if you're not satisfied with those patterns and the results. If you're satisfied with them, sure, keep it going. But if you're not, now's the time to make those changes. And so you'll need to spend your time in like, what is it that I need to do? What is the right path for me now? Show me what I need to let go of, right? Especially if you're feeling stuck and stubborn about the whole thing. This chart for the full moon is pretty cool, pretty unique too, because for my location, now again, this is just for within 100 miles or so, a few hundred miles of the seacoast of New Hampshire, but we have the angles are all 0 cardinal degrees. And so for us here in New England, this is actually quite significant because that gives New England an opportunity to shift. That's a collective focus. Again, let's bring this back to us. So what house is this playing out in for you? Again, find out where this early Aquarius is for you. And because I don't use whole sign houses, I use Placidus. If you use whole sign houses, it'll be easy for you to see where your Aquarius is. Just look for the sign of Aquarius. But for example, this chart here, I'm going to try and draw this. I'm not great with drawing on my computer. Well, there we go. So Aquarius starts here and ends here. So we can see that the beginning where that full moon is just about the beginning of Aquarius, if in this chart, and the end where the next full moon is August 22nd is right over there. So this whole area of Aquarius, again, is being targeted. And so we need to focus on how we are being innovative, creative. I'm going to stop my share now and, start doing things that are important for us so we can find a way to, bring in and usher in new energy for ourselves. And again, look at the house that it is in for you. Let's just focus on this one right now, but just know the next one is just going to be as strong. We've got these Aquarius bookends. So that age of Aquarius is definitely picking up some steam when we have all of these different things regularly triggering those areas of our charts. All right, I think I will leave you with that for now. Thank you so much. nhastrologer.com. Please join my email newsletter. I do send that out about every 10 days. I'm not an automated email person. It's not automated on my website either. You have to sign up for the newsletter and then confirm you signed up for it. All right, I'm going to leave you guys with that. And I think, is there anything else I wanted to say? You know, I don't think so, but I love this deck. This is one of my favorite decks. I'm going to chat with you for another minute. The nature spirit deck. It is just wonderful. And everything's upside down. There's no upside down cards to me. And, you know, here on my YouTube channel, I've been throwing up some nature stuff because I'm not doing quite as many astrology videos because I do them over on my Patreon. I'm going to do the full moon through the houses over there on my Patreon group. So you're welcome to check that out and join me there too. I would appreciate your support there. Keeps me doing what I do and what I love. And the next one, oh, the wounded healer. What? That's interesting. I don't know who that's for. It's Chiron, the wounded healer. And he is actually in the sign of Aries. I didn't have him in. Let's go see what's going on with him. And I will have to share my screen again once I get him in. Oh, he's hanging out with Saturn and the South Node. Let me share my screen one more time. Here it is. Here's Chiron, the wounded healer. When it comes up in this deck, what it represents is us, if I was doing it as a personal reading, you know, as a person who is here to be healed and to help others heal. So if you're called to be a healer, if you are one, then maybe that's your sign to step into that a little bit more, right? The card also represents, you know, us getting out into nature and, you know, really getting grounded out there and really connected to nature. So you're able to release some of the things that don't feel good for you. All right. And the things that we need to shed. It could be current life, past life stuff, all of it, you know, all of those things. It's such a strong period right now for all of us, with just everything that we've had going on this year has been quite transforming. 2020 stopped us all, and we all had our own journey there. But the journey now is like, how do we go back to what was? And I know people have talked about this forever, but I feel that we're really needing to step up the energy, step up the vibration, and you know, bring in more light as best we can. We each have our own way. All right, I will leave you with that. Thank you, everybody. Blessings and namaste.